folks, it's Jerilyn from West Lebanon Feed and Supply, and we're here in front of a brand new asparagus patch on a chilly morning, which is actually the best time to plant asparagus. They are an early spring perennial, so that's one of those vegetables you plant once and kind of enjoy reap the harvest for years to come. I actually was out this morning picking some asparagus. This is from my patch, which is probably about 25 years old. Here, I'm going to come really close to the camera now so you can see how gorgeous that is. Yeah, that's for dinner tonight. So again, once you plant it, you have a little bit of maintenance to do, and then you're good to go, right? Kind of like rhubarb. So the first thing that you want to do with asparagus is you want to find a spot that's going to have sun for about 6 to 8 hours, right? We're in the early morning, but this spot gets gorgeous sun all day long. So I have complete faith that this is going to be an awesome patch. The next thing you want to do is you want to till up the spot. You want it to be 12 to 18 inches deep, tilled up, because you really want to make sure you get all the weeds out, because you don't want the asparagus roots to be fighting with the weeds or the grass or whatever it may be. So we've done that already. We've tilled this about 2 weeks ago. I've tossed it a couple of times, pulled out the grass, weeds, whatnot. I've actually planted already 2 rows because I figured you didn't want to watch me do that. And now I'm going to be planting this. Now, at about 5 o'clock this morning, I put my crowns in some lukewarm water. So they've been soaking now for about 3 hours. Which is great. It kind of gives them a little bit of a head start and kind of gets them rehydrated, right? So when you go to the store and you buy your asparagus, right, you might see it like this. This is what we have at the store, Jersey Night. And you're going to get a crown, right? And I'm going to come again closer so you can see. This is what we call a crown. You can start asparagus from seed. But basically you're looking at 1 to 2 years before you're going to actually get the crown. And the problem with that is then you're dealing with trying to do weed control with these little tiny seedlings, right? So I totally recommend trying it if your first experience is to get the crowns. So now they're soaked in the water, so they're going to look a little bit different, right? Get my shavings off of them. So this is the top, and these are the roots. And I always say to people when I'm telling them about planting asparagus, make it look like an octopus, right? Kind of spread out your roots so that they're going to look like this, right? You want your trench to be about 6 to 8 inches deep, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some plant tone. Biotone works too. I'm a big fan of the biotone, but plant tone also works. And I'm just going to take and run some down the course of my trench. Time for a new bag. And then I'm just going to mix it in a little bit with the soil so that the crowns aren't sitting right on the fertilizer. You want to do that anytime you're planting something. You never want roots to be sitting right on the fertilizer because you could end up burning the roots. So, and now we're going to take our crowns. This is when I wish I had waterproof gloves, right? Although it's not as chilly as I thought it was going to be. And you're going to just put down your octopus, right? Because that's what I like to how to explain it. And you're going to spread out the roots. So basically what's going to happen is these roots are going to shoot up, and they're going to give us future asparagus spears. And boy, these are some really nice looking ones. See how big and lush that is? Look at that. They don't always come like that, trust me. But it doesn't mean they won't grow. So, there we go. Now, see, we're just kind of lightly touching. So they're going to be, each crown is probably going to be about 12 to 18 inches from the next one. You know, it's okay if the tips touch, but you don't want the crowns to be crowded. So now I'm going to continue doing that, but you don't have to watch me do that. I'm just going to work right here. And now I'm going to take some Muju. And I totally forgot to open the bag. I thought I was being really prepared. When in doubt, just pull your keys out. And I'm just going to cover them with about 2 inches of the Muju, right? And you can see where I did that on the other rows. And then I'm going to wait, and when the crowns start to grow, and they're going to be about 2 to 3 inches tall, they're just going to be these little thin asparagus spears. You might not even recognize them if you're not looking closely. I'm going to put a little bit more of the Muju in there, right? So I'm not filling the trench. By the end of the season, my trench will be full, but I'm going to just kind of build it up 2 inches, and then I'm going to put some more of the compost down, and then we're going to get it, they're going to grow a little bit more, and I'm going to put a little bit more down. What this does is it really strengthens the roots, and you're going to have really strong asparagus plants. Right, nice strong roots that are going to hold up these big gorgeous things. I don't know if you've ever seen asparagus, but they get tall and feathery and fern-like, and they're really pretty. They're really, I mean, they're a perennial, right? So they add texture and whatnot. If you're planting them in your vegetable garden, you want to make sure that you plant them away at the end or along the side or somewhere where you won't have to disturb the roots if you're tilling or you're turning the soil or whatnot. So you know, just remember that if you're planting it. It is a perennial, it will come back. So now this is the worst part about asparagus planting, right? There's always maybe the worst thing, right? You really don't want to pick it for the first 2 to 3 years. I tell people, you know, if you want just to remind yourself, pick a few sparingly the second year, and then the third year, you're really going to go right into it. So if you're like me, you're going to be planting asparagus beds. I don't know, I guess I plant them every 3 to 4 years because apparently we can never have enough asparagus in our house. And again, this is what we'll be having for dinner tonight. So folks, this weekend, it's a great project. Thanks for tuning in.